Hey, morning everybody. How you doing? Hope you can hear me. I'm just going to wait for some people to join me. I'm live on. Oh, I guess you can hear me. Just had to turn down my iPad. Okay, I'll just wait for some people to pop on, I hope. I'm on YouTube. I'm on my Facebook page, Stamp Crazy with Allison. And I'm also broadcasting to my group, Border Buddies Hangout. So if you're on any of those, you'll hopefully get your notification and joining me soon. So I'll just wait for you guys to find me. Hopefully. Sometimes it takes a while, doesn't it? Okay. Nobody's coming. Oh, I've got Carrie. Hi, Carrie. For some reason, they're not coming up on my, the hellos and stuff aren't coming up on my StreamYard, but that's okay. I can see you over there, and I'll go over there momentarily. So Carrie's here, so maybe some other people are here. So let's just dive right in. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for coming. And I've missed you guys. I was away helping my daughter move back to Toronto. She'd been here for almost a year in Vancouver because she was allowed to work from home here instead of working from home in her condo in Toronto. So it was lovely having her, and I miss her already. But we've got her all set up, and she's ready to go there. So I am now back in Vancouver and ready to play along with you guys on my regular Facebook Live schedules. Good morning, Sarah. You're always, hi, Chris. Oh, there you are, Kisha. There you go. Okay, so today, Sundays are our Sunday sketches. So let's go over there, and I'll show you what I've got going for today. So you should be able to see the sketch now. And here we are. So hopefully you can see that sketch. And everything is good to go. Good morning, Debbie and Jennifer. Good morning. Okay. So I don't know if you're on YouTube or Facebook, or I'm not sure. I'll have to look at that later. But if you are on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because then you'll get notifications that I'm over there, okay? And then you can find all my videos in a very easy place over there. I put them under a playlist of Facebook Live, so you should be able to find me quite easily. So today we're using this sketch. Now, for those of you who've been with me before, you know that hi, Lynn. Oh, nice to see you. I like to use sketches. Sketches help me if I'm really stuck and I have no clue how to start a card. If I'm just looking at a blank piece of paper, I'm thinking, what am I going to do? So at least if I start with a sketch, I can sort of see dimensions and how I want to put things together. Now, sketches don't mean you have to do this exactly like this. You could completely change this. You could move an element over here, or you could make these bigger or smaller. It's up to you, okay? It's just a place to start. Good morning, Leanne. Oh, hi, Mo. Hi, Linda. Okay. So today we're going to use a really adorable stamp set. Now, when I was in Toronto, my sisters Mo and Ellie and I got together and made a whole bunch of adorable cards using the Sweets and Treats stamp set. So sometimes that glare, can you see that? Okay. And these images are really easy to color because they're quite broad, right? And they're small enough, so even if you're not really that confident using Stampin' Blends or another medium, they're small enough that you'll get confident because you can't really mess up. It's not a big area that you'll feel like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have put that much on or whatever. So they're really great for that. And they're really adorable. And I love that this particular set is great for Christmas and birthday, or just for thanking somebody for doing something nice for you. I really love it. Especially, they'd be really cute, especially if you actually gave them like a plum pudding as a gift, and you can make a little tag even. Wouldn't that be cute? Hi, Nancy. Okay, so that's the set we're going to use. It is from the July to December Mini Catalogue. It's on page 11. Here it is. And of course, we love that Stampin' Up! Gives us some ideas. on how to use it. So that's another way to get your mojo going. What's great about this set, it actually coordinates with another set. I'm just going to show you that. It coordinates with this set here. And I probably should have practiced saying the name. Classic Cloak. Is it Cloak? And it's got images. And then the same dome. You can see the dome and the dome. And this one is set up so that you can put these things in your dome, which are really cute. And it's a two-step because we've got this image and then you can stamp a darker image over and so on. So it's really, really sweet. And the really cool thing is it also has coordinating dies. So it will cut out that dome for both sets. Okay. So that's something to consider. If you like that, you might want to get the two stamp sets and the dies, or you might want to just get one of the stamp sets with the dies. It's up to you. Now we are, gosh, what's the date today? September 26th. So we are so close to the end of celebration. So remember, when you spend $60 in Canada, you will receive a free gift of your choice from the celebration. I will say that the pretty paper, this bedazzling, is sold out, but everything else I believe is still available. So you want to pick up one of those before the 30th, which is Thursday. All right. Okay. So let's make a card. So what I started with was this beautiful paper from the Painted Christmas suite of products. This happens to be the suite that Patsy, my border buddy, and I, she's in Minnesota, have chosen for our suite, our free card suite of the month for September. Now, if you don't know what we do, we each create 3 cards using the suite of our choice. And then we put it in a PDF with instructions and measurements and pictures and step-by-step directions. And for any sized order, big or small, we send you that free PDF. Okay. So here is the Painted Christmas. It's on page 16, 17. I think it even goes over here. Yeah, it goes over to 18 and 19. Okay. It's a fabulous suite. Got 2 sets of stamps and 2 sets of dies, and there's something there for everybody. And so if you live in Canada, you'll want to order from me at Stamp Crazy with Allison. And if you live in the United States, you can order from Patsy in her store, and you receive the free PDF. So there's different ways to receive it. Okay. So this is one side of the paper. You get 12 by 12s, 12 by 12s, 6 designs, double-sided, 2 of each. Gosh, I know it's kind of like what? Anyway, I've cut these down to a smaller size just so you can see them on screen. Aren't they pretty? These are quite traditional in my mind. Goes back to my childhood. Pine cones, pine bows, holly, berries. Very traditional and quite traditional colors. Okay. And then on the other side, we've got sort of more muted and also kind of geometric that actually are good for non-Christmas cards, right? So lots of choices there. So very pretty paper. So that's where I started with my sketch. So I'll bring it back in. So I wanted to use that paper. So I went ahead and cut out my paper. So this is my 2 by 5.5. Okay. And then I had, 2 3/4 by 5.5. And then I had my 2 by 5.5. So that's kind of the layers that I started with. Then I've got this piece here, which is sort of the muted holly. That's the other side. And I'm also going to use that. I'm going to use that for the focal point. Okay. So that's where I started. Let's stamp first. And the reason I'm going to stamp first is because when you're using the Mento ink and your blends, you want it to give it a chance to dry. Okay. So let's stamp it. We can set it aside and then color. Okay. So I've got a pie and I've got plum pudding. Now, at your Christmas, do you guys have, hi, Amanda. Oh, Amanda, my friend from across the pond from the UK. Hi, Amanda. She's the one that said, Alison, you have to do some lives. So I have her to thank. Okay, and then we've got a cupcake. So when you were growing up, did you guys have plum pudding? my parents are Scottish, or were Scottish. And so plum pudding, we always had plum pudding, but we had it with custard. And I don't know, Amanda can tell us if that's a thing still in Britain. But we always had it with bird's custard on the top, and then you flamed it and stuff. I wasn't a huge fan of custard or plum pudding, but we always had it. Hi, Gail. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to let that dry, all right? I'm going to just set that aside for a sec. And then let's start constructing our card. So I've got a base here, just a standard 5.5 by 8.5, and then scored at 4 1/4. Just give it a nice, use your bone folder to give it a nice crease there so it remains flat here. Then I'm going to be gluing this on. Okay, now before I do that, I'm going to actually glue this piece to this piece, and you'll see why in a minute. So just a sec here. Just have to grab my glue. Okay. You know what? If you know me and you've been watching me, you know I love white glue. This is my favorite glue. I know everyone has their one that they like best, right? Some people like the seal, and I do use that for certain projects, especially when I want a really good, like maybe something you're going to open and close a lot. I'd probably use my seal. But I like the white glue because I can control it really easily, and I can move it if I make a mistake until it sets. All right. So before I glue that onto my red, I want to add some ribbon. And I'm looking around at my, here it is. This is the ribbon. This is called glittered Organdy Ribbon. And it's really, really pretty. Look at that. It's got like almost like a mother of pearl glitter, all different colors in it. I hope you can see that. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it around my piece. And I leave my ribbon on my roll because I find that I don't waste as much. If I cut a piece and then it's too long or too short, I'm like, oh no, I didn't cut enough or I cut too much. So I'm going to just figure out where I want it. That looks good. And I want to just I don't want to tie a bow because I thought that was a bit too bulky. So I'm just going to tie a very loose knot. I don't want it too tight. Okay. And then I can just trim off my ends. Okay. Now when I've got that done, I can go ahead and glue that to the front of my card. Okay. And again, I'm just going to use my white glue. Make sure I give enough room. There we go. That looks good. I don't know what the weather's like where you guys are, but it was absolutely beautiful yesterday in Vancouver. I went to my son's soccer game. In Vancouver, we play soccer from September through to March, April. It's a winter sport outdoors here. And I've sat in many rainstorm, even snow, watching him. So I was glad it was a beautiful night. I'm not sure. I might be getting too old to be going to games in the pouring rain like today. It's pretty miserable out there. So I guess the weather's turned here. I don't know about you guys. Oh, hi, Ellie. Okay, so here's for the element here. Now, I'm doing it quite religiously, I would say. Like, right, I'm going to be using a circle. You don't have to. You could use just a big element like a flower or anything you want. You don't have to be tied to the fact that it's a circle, but I'm being sticking with a little bit of traditional for this particular sketch. So I want to use my layering circles framelits. Have you guys seen these? If you don't have these, you have to get them. They're fantastic. You've got the regular, just a circle, and then you have coordinating scallop edge circles that you can layer them on. I love that. Okay. So I'm going to use this large one. I think that's the one I want. Yes, because I want it to go over. I want it to go beyond the edges just slightly. Okay. So luckily, this fits in our fantastic mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm going to just see. I'm going to move this up just a titch so you can see just where I'm putting it in here, okay? Now, if you guys have watched me before, you know that I don't use the plate number 1, which is what they recommend for die cutting. I use plate number 3. I've got my clear plate, which isn't so clear, I guess. I've got my piece of DSP and my die, and then I've got your clear piece that goes on top. And it catches every single time. Did you see how it just grabbed that? And I don't find that the plate number 1 does that for me. I find that I'm constantly trying to figure out and layer it and all sorts of things. So I don't like fussy. I like when things work, so that's why I use plate number 3. So give it a try if you're having problems. Okay, so now I've got my circle. And I'm just going to glue that right onto my project. Okay, anybody answering me about my question about plum pudding? Anybody have plum pudding when they were growing up, or even still? Is it still a tradition in your home for Christmas? It's not in mine anymore. I don't think my sisters do it anymore either. We go with the trifle, right? Through the Scottish trifle. Oh, hi, Grace. So did you try plate number 3 then? Well, you have to try plate number 3. You have to use that instead of plate number 1. If you use plate number 3, just like this, it'll grab it every time. You'll just be like, wow, that's so awesome. Okay, so let's bring in our stamped images. Here they are. And we're going to use blends to color them, okay? So what have we got here? We've got quite a few here. All right, so I've got Flirty Flamingo. I've got Real Red, because that's quite a traditional color, right? Got Real Red. I've got a Crumb Cake. I went with a Granny Apple. And then I've got the Smoky Slate, okay? So if we start with our pie, I'm going to actually color my pie with the Crumb Cake, because it's sort of like a crust, right? And I've got my dark one here, and you can see that I'm just going to do it a little bit like that. But the crust part, that little crinkled part, I'm going to do that in the dark Crumb Cake, because I just thought it would be like a crust. At least in my mind, it looked like a crust. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So you can see that I've started with just that dark. Now I'm going to go in now with my light Crumb Cake, and I'm just going to blend this. I've got a bit of definition. Now my poor little blend needs to be replaced. I do find that it's finally, after quite a long time, it is just running out. I've had it and used it for a long time. I used Crumb Cake quite a bit. Okay, so that's the Crumb Cake for now. And then I'm going to add some Smoky Slate. I'm going to use the dark Smoky Slate just on these little marks here. Now, it's sort of a really easy way to cheat, because Stampin' Up! is designed the image so that those little lines there are sort of supposed to be darker, what the right word is, not where the light isn't, but you know what I mean. So when I blend this with the light Smoky Slate, once I get over there to the dark, you're going to see that that definition is going to remain. And I could add some more along the bottom of my crust, but I think that's good for now. Okay, now let's do our plum pudding. So let's see. Hi, Carol. Hi, Connie. Linda says her English neighbor makes plum puddings for a few people, and I like it with brown sugar sauce. Yeah, that's another one that people do. My mother-in-law does it that way. And Sarah says her mom made it. It was in a glass jar and heat it, so she put the jar in hot water bath. The pudding, I don't know what else she's written here, it's longer, was very dense. It is a very dense pudding. It's you just have a very little amount of it, right? Oh, what was your favorite? Yeah, it's kind of fun to think back on traditional stuff. And when I saw the images in this set, I thought, this really does remind me of Christmases past. right? All those traditions that make us feel kind of warm and fuzzy. It's like smells. Do you ever notice that at Christmas? The cloves and the allspice, to me, it's like, oh, that's Christmas. And the turkey cooking, if you like turkey. Okay, so these are like little, fruit pieces. So I just colored those, the red and the green. And then I'm going to color my cherries. I'm actually going to color my cherries with the light. Got the light? Yeah. Light, real red. And even though this is a very small little image, I can still add a little bit here. Give it a little bit of definition. Okay. And then I've got my granny apple. I'm just going to do that on the veins here of my holly. And then I can go in and color with. Okay, now these images do not have dies, and we are going to cut them out. But honestly, they are so easy to cut out because there's no a lot of ins and outs to color them. To cut them out. So don't be intimidated. I'm going to use my light crumb cake to make my pudding. Although it is quite a dark brown Christmas pudding, isn't it? I could have used the darker crumb cake, but that's all right. We'll just go with this. If you like coloring, this is great because it's not hard to color. Not hard to color or cut out. Okay. And then lastly, we have our little cupcake. And I wanted to make the paper kind of fun. So I'm going to use the granny apple. And I'm just going to color it in. I'm not looking at the comments right now because I'm coloring. So, go. And I want to add a little bit of definition. So, again, just add some darker blend or even another color altogether if you want to give it some definition. You don't have to go with the same colors. In previous lives, I've shown you how you can add shadow with grays or a crumb cake. And then my actual cake, I like chocolate, so this is going to be a chocolate cake. That like that. And then icing. I wanted a pretty icing, so let's go with Flirty Flamingo. So light Flirty Flamingo. And then we have dark light Flirty Flamingo. But we can just add to give it a little bit of definition. So we're just going to go whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Now, I think these images are really great for the Wink of Stella. So I'm going to put Wink of Stella on the top part of my plum pudding. So the icing, in this case, this has got an icing on it. I guess it's sort of like an almond paste, maybe. Royal icing, not sure. And top of my pie, and of course, my icing. And let's add some to the berries. I think that would be good too. So you probably can't see this very well on, I'll try and raise it up and see if you can see. But I sparkled the top of the pie, the icing here, and then the icing there, okay? All right, so now we're kind of ready to put this together after we cut it out. So like I said, these images are really easy to cut out. I find the best way to do it is to just separate them first. And then what you're going to do is, my friend Leanne, who was here, I don't know if she's still here, she taught me this. You move the paper, not the scissors. So see what I'm doing? I'm going around. That makes sense? And you want to leave an edge, a white edge. If you don't, it's going to look more jagged. The eye can be kind of fooled if you leave a little edge, and it can't really tell that the edge isn't perfect. Leave the same around each item. It's just kind of a little trick. So you want to move the paper, Okay, so see, that was simple. This one's even simpler. Go up like this, and then we're just moving our paper versus our scissors. Okay. Just keep, if you want to go slow, just go slow. And practice. You'll get better at it. It's one of those things that you think, oh gosh, I don't want to fussy cut anything. I want to die or a punch. But actually, it's really easy to fussy cut. There we go. Okay. And then we've got our pudding. So you can see, you just want to move your paper. Okay. It's a good day for me to be inside. It is so awful outside. It's a classic Vancouver rainstorm. We've had a beautiful summer, sometimes too hot, but we can't complain. So it's good that we've gotten some rain. Makes us remember to appreciate when it's a sunny day, right? So we're just going to go around. So you get the idea, right? You get the idea. Okay, so just going to keep going like that. Now for this one, because it's a little bit fussier, I've already pre-cut it, okay? But it's not hard, but I just wanted to make sure I went around all the edges and the berries and whatnot. So I'm just going to add my Wink of Stella to this one. So it's a bit of a cheat, you know, like when they say through the magic of television, when they put the raw food in the oven and then they whip out the finished product. That's what I did with that one, but you get the idea. You just keep cutting around, okay? So here we go. Now we can put this together. So I think the plum pudding should be the focal point, and I think it should be popped up. So, oh, it's beautiful in Ontario, or where, at least where Grace is. I'm not sure if she's in Cambridge still. I'm glad. It was nice weather when I was visiting Toronto last week. Very nice weather, I think, for the most part. I think we had a couple of days of a little bit cooler, but the days I spent with my sister were gorgeous. Okay, so I'm just putting dimensionals on here, you guys, as you can see. If you're going to layer something without dimensional and another dimensional, because this one's already popped up, you're going to want to make this side of this particular image higher. So you have to double, I don't know what you call it, double decker it. And you're going to just kind of put your pie like that. Okay. And the same for my cupcake. I'm going to put a double decker on it because I want it to be higher than the popped up plum. Okay, so that's what I've got so far. And then I wanted to put an image on here. So I've got a piece of scrap red here. Here it is. And I'm going to use Versamark and some white embossing powder. Okay. Oh, it's cool but nice in Toronto. Oh, that's good, Mom. Okay. Well, that's better than what we've got. You wouldn't believe it here. It's just, it's like, wow. I have to build a boat, I think. All right. But like I said, grateful that my son's soccer game was last night in beautiful weather versus today. I think I would have bailed today. I'm a pretty good mom when it comes to watching my kid play sports, but sometimes I think, I don't think so. At least he drives his own car there. He's an adult, so I don't have to have a wet kid in the car after a game. Those were always fun. All right. So we've got our embossed image here. Just going to flick off the extra, bring in my embossing gun, tool, and heat that up. Now the image says bring on Christmas. Honestly, between you and me, I don't want to bring on Christmas quite yet. I'm not even ready for Thanksgiving, so it's not bringing on quite yet. That's cute saying. I'm just going to let that dry or cool down, because if you touch it and when it's still hot, like a little molten lava. Now you can cut this out the same way that we cut out those other images, right? Like you could use your scissors and go around the piece, but I didn't want to do that today. I wanted to just have a straight cut today. Okay, a bit of a small image to do that. You can do it, but a bit of a small image. So here we go. And so now we just have to decide where we're going to put this. So I could put it here. I think I'm going to put it up here. Okay. So what I want to do is this edge, I want it to be high, right? Because it's got the, actually I don't have to, because I can just glue it. I didn't put pop-ups or dimensionals on the circle, so I can just lay it flat. So rather than lay it flat though, I think I will pop it up too, so it's just a little bit higher. Probably could have used smaller dimensionals, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. So make sure I'm in the screen. Here we go. Pop that up. So there we go. So let me just get rid of all of this stuff in front of me and make a nice area, hopefully. There we go. And here is our sketch. Yes, my sister said we should be ordering our Christmas gifts early because there's supply issues. I heard, especially I guess if you've got grandchildren or kids of your own that are young, popular toys and whatnot apparently are going to sell out. So it's going to be back to the days of when my kids were little, like, you know, Tickle Me Elmo and guitar. Some guitar my kid wanted. He played it with a video game. It was hard to find. So don't wait till the end. So what do you think? Do you like the card? I think it looks almost good enough to eat, don't you think? Thanks, Carol. Thanks, Sarah. So remember, you guys, if you share my video, so all you have to do is click share. And I see that Nancy's already done that. You click share and then you type shared in the comments. I do a little draw and I'll mail you the card. All right. So let me go back to my face over here. Here we are. Here we are. Thanks, you guys, for joining me. I try and keep my videos to about 30 minutes. We're a little long today by 3 or 4 minutes, but that's okay. Now, for those of you who don't know me and those of you who do know me, this is my mug today. My daughter gave me this mug. Either you like hockey or you're wrong. And I've got my cup today because it's the first exhibition game of the Canucks, Vancouver Canucks. So it's not broadcast because, well, because the NHL doesn't broadcast the Canucks very much. But I'm going to look online and see if I can find a place that I can stream it. So if you're a hockey fan, it's the start of the season. So hopefully it's a more normal season than it's been in the last 2 years. All right, you guys, is there any other questions? I'm just going to check and see if there's any other questions for me today. Otherwise, I will see you on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So you can adjust for your own time zone. And Wednesdays, I can do whatever I want. I don't really have a theme. I just kind of make a card. And I'm going to be making a card using the same set as I used today because I really want to show you the cards that my sister and I made. We were kind of bashing them out and we had fun with this particular set. Okay. Oh, thanks, Marilyn. My sister's got Go Leafs Go. Yeah. Whatever. We're all homies, right? You gotta pull for your home team. I get it. All right. So you guys, thank you so much. I want you to all have a great day. I hope you get some stamping done or something creative. And I will see you on Wednesday. Bye for now.